The click of the keys turning in the lock breaks the silence of the late afternoon. You push the door open. After an exhausting day at work, carrying a small hope for that familiar, enthusiastic welcome. A tail wagging wildly, joyful barks echoing, and a warm, energetic body rushing into your arms. But the response to that expectation is nothing but a suffocating silence. Your dog is lying curled up on the corner rug, glancing up at you for barely a second, before quietly dropping their head back down. You sigh, thinking to yourself that they must just be overly tired today. You slowly approach and reach out to pet the top of your little friend's head. They hesitate for a beat, then stick out their wet tongue and gently lick your hand. You smile in relief, firmly believing that this is a kiss, filled with the boundless love they have for you. But the truth behind this seemingly peaceful scene is much more cruel and sharp than you could ever imagine. That is absolutely not normal physical fatigue, and that lick on the hand carries no message of love. The harsh reality is, your dog might not like you as much as you think. They might be feeling incredibly uncomfortable, extremely stressed, or perhaps they have completely lost their emotional connection with you. Millions of people are silently hurting their four-legged friends every single day. Not because they are bad owners, but simply because dogs communicate in a wordless language that most of us were never taught how to read. Welcome to Paw's Mind. Today, we are going to decode these silent cries for help. Let's start with one of the most classic misconceptions. Licking always equates to love. Sometimes it truly is. But most of the time, licking is a direct stress response, a submissive gesture, or an appeasement signal. They produce this behavior because they are feeling uncertain and under pressure. How do you tell the difference? A dog who licks you out of genuine love will possess a completely loose body, a soft face, and will freely move toward you. Conversely, if they lick with an incredibly stiff posture, a tucked tail, flattened ears, or a continuous avoidance of eye contact, that is their way of screaming, "I am not a threat. Please do not act aggressively toward me." What you need to do in this moment is back off. Stop creating pressure and give them space to breathe. This avoidance is also revealed much more clearly and heartbreakingly through touch. When you reach out to pet them and your dog immediately pulls away, freezes under your hand, or turns their head sharply away, that is the most powerful and direct tool they have to say, "Not now," or more bluntly, "Not you." Accompanying this are a series of other calming signals. They might yawn loudly even when not sleepy, continuously lick their lips even when there is no food, or blink and squint repeatedly. If you persistently ignore these boundaries, continuing to suppress them with tight hugs, they will learn a brutally cruel lesson. Peaceful communication is entirely useless. And when that happens, they will have no choice but to resort to heavier weapons, a growl or a bite. Speaking of growling, it may sound counterintuitive, but in the dog world, a growl is truly a priceless gift. When a dog growls as you approach, they are doing you a favor. They are using their communication tools to warn you that you have entered their personal space in a threatening way. The most catastrophic mistake is yelling at or punishing them. A dog punished for growling will not stop feeling afraid. They simply stop warning you about it. The next time, they will skip the growl and go straight to the snap or bite. Absolutely never punish a growl. Find the root cause and keep their natural warning system intact. Even the tail, which we think is the easiest to understand, frequently lies. We have been indoctrinated with the belief that a wagging tail means a happy dog, but a tail held straight up, wagging very fast and stiff as a board, is absolutely not a friendly greeting. It is a sign of high arousal that can lead to aggression. The body is always a more honest storyteller than the tail. If a dog is wagging its tail but its eyes are hard, its weight is shifted forward, its ears are erect, and its body is rigid, that dog is absolutely not happy to see you. And when the emotional connection truly shatters, you will witness a heartbreakingly cold scene. The quiet welcome. A securely bonded dog will always have a reaction when you appear. If they treat your return as a non-event, simply lying there, avoiding eye contact, or wandering away, that's undeniable proof of a real emotional disconnect. The only way to bring them back is not to force interaction, but to patiently rebuild each connection through short, positive interactions, and always leaving them with a choice. This relationship breakdown actually can be so severe that it defeats their most primal survival instinct. The desire to eat is a fierce biological drive. Yet, if you offer a delicious piece of meat and they stubbornly turn away, while being perfectly happy to accept it from someone else in the house, this is a bitter piece of data. This proves your personal presence has created a level of stress that completely overrides their basic survival need. To break down this wall, you need immense patience. Place the food on your open palm close to the floor instead of forcing them to take it from your hand, and do so without any demands attached. The disconnection is also shown is when their name falls into the void. When you call and they ignore it, do not rush to conclude that they are stubborn. Perhaps the name has been associated with negative consequences like being scolded or forced to take medicine, or they have lived in chronic stress for so long, leading to emotional withdrawal. It's also possible. The name has been completely diluted because you call it too many times without any rewards. The solution is to temporarily stop using the name. Then rebuild it from scratch by always pairing it with generous and positive rewards. And then when you leave the house, the living room can turn into a chaotic scene. You see your shoes or clothes chewed to pieces and assume they are doing it out of spite. The truth is, dogs don't have the cognitive architecture to plan revenge. What they are enduring is a state of absolute panic known as separation anxiety. When left behind, loneliness suffocates them. Chewing the items carrying your strongest scent is a desperate effort to seek connection. To soothe themselves, do not use punishment. Resolve the root of that anxiety by gradually building their capacity to tolerate separation. Finally, if all the above signs are ignored, their nervous system will issue one final warning. The whale eye. Have you ever seen your dog turn their head away, but still cast their eyes sideways to look at you, revealing a half moon shape of white? That is the most urgent emergency siren. It appears when a dog feels cornered and incredibly unsafe. When this eye is accompanied by a frozen body and a tightly closed mouth, it is extreme suppression. This is the final warning before they decide to fight back. If you see this eye, the only thing you must do is stop immediately and step back. The core truth is, dogs do not have the capacity to hide their true emotional states. Their bodies constantly and honestly expose everything. We cannot build a worthwhile relationship by forcing human illusions onto our pets. A genuine love only exists when the dog voluntarily chooses to step towards you with a loose body, a sincere welcome, and soft, gentle eyes. Take a few seconds to truly listen to their body during your next interaction. If you found this helpful, please share your experiences in the comments. And do not forget to subscribe to Paw's Mind, because every tiny change in how you communicate will be a miracle that alters the entire life of a dog somewhere out there.